Hello to more AC3 and so on. Alright, so I left the mouse on. Okay, so this one is actually pretty fun. This is one of the first kind of they try to throw in half the arena in this one. Well, they're all doing stuff in the background. You can get a few people killed off in this one.
First, clear out Sector E31.
Mostly just a lot of MTs. There actually isn't too much challenge to it. It's just a matter of getting it done semi-quickly.
Sector W29 clear. Area secure. Head to Sector E33.
So if you make it to the end, you actually can get the claw. It's one of the blades they brought back from AC2. Although I don't think it has its same multiple hits that it did in that one. Definitely doesn't seem to. It seems to just be one really wide blade now. I mean, it still shows 3 different blades, but it only seems to act as one. Rocket-wise, it's really only those ones at the top that take a minute. Everything else is usually close and large enough. Just as usual, anything with a tiny hitbox.
Sector N33 clear.
So one part that's kind of confusing the first time around, you do have to take out these turrets.
Area secure.
Even though they're not really in the room, but whatever, close enough. So this is one of the first forays with these guys, who personally I find to be the most annoying in the game. So their whole deal is they're shotgun bladers. They jump up and down, and they cut. Seem to do an inordinate amount of damage. So this is Flying Fix. Most of the time I ended up taking them out simply, well, because I mistook them for the other tank, the missile tank.
This is Joker. Sector S04 is clear. Too slow. Get to Sector S16.
But for the sake of showing that it's possible. And they're gone. Is there a point? Not really.
Sector E01 clear.
N41 clear. Move to Sector W07.
This is the second to last one.
Taking a beating. I need help.
So if you don't get there on time, Twinhead dies. Well, actually no, if you make it on time, Twinhead dies. If you don't, he gets out of his situation and is just fine.
Sector E07 clear. Kaiser, take care of Sector C09. W07 clear. Head to Sector S31.
Sector N32 clear.
That green dot there is Twinhead. He will die in a sec if I make it on time.
Swift, your area is secure. Head out.
There we are. And hopefully I'll have enough rockets to actually finish this. Shouldn't have wasted those little ones.
Sector S16 clear. What's next? Joker, Sector C13, hurry! Sector S31 clear. You're our front line, Raven. Go to Sector C00. Destroy the generators in any opposition.
Which is just this guy.
Sector S42 clear.
Well, this guy in the turret up ahead of
my
it.
AC has had it.
Understood, Apathy. Get clear.
Screw these guys. Especially in the base setup run. Like the base build you start with. They are just such a pain. There's one coming up later that there's just practically no avoiding 3 of them. And you really can't spare the ammo to kill them. Okay. So the cart, and this is portable version only, but that's right over here. And that's just punching holes in these things.
That's it. The
It's
facility
kind of
is
backward
ours.
logic that if you don't make it on time, Twin Head survives, but anyway. That's 2 more
Good work,
arena slots
everyone.
gone.
That was a textbook operation.
It really wasn't, but alright.
Mission complete. Combat system disengaged.
There's a good old claw. So from what I've seen, it seems to either be buggy or really dumbed down in this one. But it still looks cool. You know, especially if you're using the hand rockets, you got this whole multi-barreled thing going on. But anyway, gonna be selling it. Bomb disarmament is, this is one that gives another portable-only part, which is the one of the handguns from AC-1, I want to say. Won't be needing those.
Avoid the lower level. No AC can withstand those temperatures.
Contrary to what you said, we'll hop right down there. And get that thing. So if you start fighting these guys, they'll just go and call in a hover AC. So they'll have no problem dealing with fire and all that, because apparently if you're 3 feet away from the fire, you're just fine. But either way, he's very, very, very difficult to fight under these conditions. So I'm gonna go ahead and have him not even show up. As long as you don't kill him, it's just them. And then it's as simple as that.
All bombs removed. Please return to base.
Well, I was gonna go return the cello, but that works just fine.
Combat system disengaged.
And of course you ignore physics as soon as you're timed out. That would have been hilarious if you're chucked straight into the lava. Yeah, this is the handgun. It actually does get a handle, weirdly enough. I think they just wanted to use the old picture. So as soon as you go to the screen here, I believe it gets its handle. Yeah. So on its icon, it doesn't have one, and then they just gave it a nice little grip there. You know what, I think I'm gonna get this, just for the missile display. Oh, energy shield coverage. That doesn't help me whatsoever, actually. Never mind. It might later. There's one more for reducing energy usage, so I might end up using that. Oh, this is a simple enough one. You can pick somebody to help you, but they don't do jack here, let's be honest. All you have to do is run up and collect 3 things. Their main purpose is after the mission itself.
Enemy forces detected in the vicinity. Get moving.
They're in
All
a
units, keep
big
the
grid,
AC away from those capsules.
and sometimes they don't trigger, I guess. Kind of doing the zigzagging back and forth thing, because there's one that usually follows you. Mostly the little skating ACs. You have the gun emplacements that are there as always, and you have a few of the missile guys. We just go to the 3 of them, and then you wait for the helicopter to show up. Nothing too severe, but it's cool how they have the how they have just the thunder in the background and no music yet.
All data capsules retrieved. The transport should arrive shortly, but in this weather...
Hey, you dropped me off in this weather. You can show up in this
We're
weather.
having trouble finding your AC. Stand by until we locate your position.
Well, gee, maybe it's where all the guns are, where you're just gonna send me in like 5 minutes. You know, just look for all the explosions. So, getting caught a little bit on the outsides of those shots. Some of them are hitting directly, and again, have enough cooling going on that it doesn't matter too much. Really, overheating is the only problem you have to worry with here. Unless you get hit by the skate guys and their lasers. So it should be just about done here. No, I have to say, usually I didn't play this with headphones, but just the attention to detail with the sounds just really blows my mind still. Like for a PS2 game, considering most of the time, well, people aren't going to be paying too much attention to that.
Rain is letting up. We're moving in.
Yeah, if only we lived in a future where scanners and things exist and are used on a regular basis.
Thanks for waiting. Let's get you out of here.
But the weather still interferes. And somehow nobody shoots him down. This is one of those cases where I would really understand if they just said go ahead and shoot everything there and then he can show up. But such is not the case. Destroying the computer's pretty easy. This one's a pain, so we're gonna be destroying the computer. They also tell you a side mission to just blow up as many boxes as you want. Actually, I just launched more rockets. Objective in this one is just moving a line and moving a zigzag. Then turn around some corners. And yeah, this one where you're moving in a line and moving around a corner. You know, circling around a pillar for style, obviously. Just getting along. You know, relatively quickish and whatnot. Turning in the wrong direction. Feeling embarrassed. And you go and you open a door. Then the music turns out to still be good, so it's all good. The purpose of this mission, which I gotta respect for it being here, I actually come back in not too long from now for a more difficult one. And there's another one that they have that's similar to this, where they basically give you a tour of the facility before anything else.
Objective achieved. Get to the escape point.
Now, an odd thing I noticed, for some reason, if you shoot that computer with large rockets, and maybe this was a one-time bug, maybe it's something that's regular, but it took 5 of those rockets for some odd reason. Not really sure why. I'm assuming there was just some sort of area in the hitbox that they were not hitting properly. They are a little bit larger, so that'd be my guess. Like, you know, maybe there's a little bit of a dip where it can hit and where it can't. But I don't know. That's just my assumption. So if you shoot these guys, a second wave shows up. And I think it's one wave in each of the larger rooms that show up. I may or may not have hit anything in that room. I don't particularly care.
Mission complete. Combat system disengaged.
I think it gives you an extra few thousand per thing that you hit. So you break even on your rockets. It's amazing. So yeah, I didn't really hit anything. Oh well. No. Yeah, okay. This one, it's good to pick a consort just on the off chance that you put up enough credibility with the with Crest to get their extra mission going. So obviously visibility sucks in this place, and
That's 1. 4 to go.
and they don't give you a target marker. You have to find them. So there's one behind me. There, I believe, there's one more in this general area. We mostly just zoom around the map, and then if you seriously want you get the Kurosawa for doing this. You basically have to S-rank this, and then you have to S-rank the next bit, and then you get it. So most of the time, I just really couldn't be bothered. I mean, the easiest way to find them is just to go along the river. This is where they are. So as long as you can find the river and kind of the southish side here. But at any rate, maybe I got the ones over there.
Two down. There are 3 left.
And then this one right over here.
Only 2 more remaining. Just 1 more to go.
So obviously the other guys that are hopping around are only there for the purpose of throwing you off. And, well, you know, the Kurosawa was good, but you can just buy it in the next game. Not to mention, in the Portal version, you get the much cooler. You get the much cooler one from AC2
Combat system
that you can pick up in Silent Line. The one that looks like a gun sword. Hey guys, you can go buy our thing. So you get these arms. Pretty good for light builds. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pick these up just in case. I remember needing them for a thing that I don't remember. This one, yeah, kill swarms of things. Actually, in this one, you can get rid of another arena member. I can get rid of Red Eye there. And this one, you get rid of Clazen and potentially get rid of Street Enemy if you want to for whatever reason. Speaking of, might as well go catch up on these. So, this is Bilbo. Their occupation, day and night, is being awful. They will sit there and kneel with their cannon, and you can chuck rocks at them for all anyone cares. It's just, it takes effort to even lose to her. Though I did find out apparently Bilbo was actually a thing. Actually, at first I thought it may have been a Lord of the Rings reference. All things considered, maybe that's even still true. I don't know. Either way, they're a hippie and a mech. The street performer duo, they both have dual back weapons and laser weapons on their arms. Neither's particularly threatening. This guy just puts down turrets, which is kind of cool, and has lasers. He would be more threatening if he spammed all of these things. And this is another one of those ones that would make for an interesting run. However, the part to acquire the part is, I recall, a bit of an annoyance. I don't actually remember where that part even is off the top of my head. Because I've just never thought to myself, man, if I could just put down some turrets right now, and not just, you know, walk up and shoot the thing, then I'd be in a better position. Alas, that is not the case. We got Paradox here. He's the other one. His whole deal is spread lasers. Slow spreading his lasers. They're almost bright enough to dodge the rockets, except that he steps straight into them. Aside from looking cool, he's... you know, really, that's about it. He looks cool, he can't possibly even hit the right zip code. But he's so spiky that it doesn't even matter. A little bit tankier than the other guy, but that's not even worth mentioning. And at the end there, I almost actually got hit by something. It was exciting. It was so exciting. This guy, I think, is pretty cool. They're... well, catastrophe of a build here. Is interesting. I mean, you got the pile driver there, you got the howitzer, well, little turret cannons there, and torpedoes. His whole deal is experimental builds. It says that he just likes messing around with his toys. You gotta respect that. Would be an interesting run. So that was one of the ones I thought about trying out. So should anyone actually ever watch these things, I'm open to the idea. Because like I said, if you can win the game, or win both games, frankly, and make it through both of the arenas as freaking crossback, I think just about any challenge in this game is possible. Actually, yeah, Flamethrower and Parry Blade also was a thing. Kind of a boring thing, because it was mostly using the corner glitch, but... not a glitch, but whatever. Everybody who does any runs calls everything a glitch, even if it's not a glitch. Well, do they? I suppose they do, to some degree. I should go ahead and shut up now, and shoot things. This is another interesting one that I thought about trying to run with. It's just energy weapons all the time with this guy. Has the energy recovery shoulders. I think he's... yeah, I think he actually is the only one in AC3's arena to make use of that. Actually, I don't think anyone ever makes use of the EDF legs that you start with. Aside from... what's-his-face? The first arena guy? Well, apparently has a lot of fans, but a name that does not stick in my brain. Actually, no, even he ended up selling his legs and I believe his missile launcher too to get the shell legs, if I'm not mistaken. The shell defense legs, I mean. So his plasma rifle can be pretty painful, but like all of the more interesting fights, he's not a cheater. So he does have to nail down to use his cannons. So very high energy consumption build. Not particularly efficient, but I can see for a defensive play style it might make for an interesting challenge. So in this one you start off with a red eye. You can kill them off.
We've arrived at the
but they are an ally in this. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to kill them off, in my opinion.
Raven, let's work together.
Because these guys, especially on a rocket run, because these guys just fly around randomly. And I'm going to have a hard time making any kind of contact with these rockets. Because they do lots of that. Not to mention their hitbox is surprisingly exact.
What's wrong? You're falling behind!
So, may not get a whole lot of money off this, but from the parts sold, you really should have enough going on at this point to not have to worry about it. Bizarrely flying sideways. I call them hoppers, I don't know what their actual name is. They look hilarious, they kind of remind me of jacks. And as before, she does carry her same thing of firing her machine gun one shot at a time over to this. Efficient and accurate, but, you know, it does help in terms of giving you a chance. I'm trying not to spend too many rockets, just letting her finish off most of the ones that I actually end up clipping. When I did this the first time, the problem I ran into was that she ran out of ammo and so did I, and she doesn't have a blade, just a shield. So I ended up just having to scrap it, if I recall. Or actually, no, I think I ended up having just enough small rockets to finish it. Because I went with the 80 small rockets and I also had a howitzer. But rockets only, again, is more explanatory and more simple than manual only. Not to mention, it's easier with just rockets, like I said. So if you hit her a couple of times, I think maybe for like 20% of her health, that's when she turns hostile. And she is surprisingly difficult to fight in this level. Not sure what it is, but on most of the challenge runs, it seems like she's very, very aggressive.
I'm picking up something. It's an enemy transport.
So these guys turn invisible. They look like cooler versions of stuff you'd see in MechWarrior, I think. Okay, seriously? You're gonna make me hit you, lady. And I mean that in a literal sense of they're running in front of my rockets, nothing misogynistic intended. Make her know I'm sure rockets hurt.
This is Red Eye. I'm returning to base.
Actually, can I make her hostile now?
All enemy units destroyed. Good work.
Mission complete.
Yeah, I guess I can't make her hostile after that point. But theoretically, you could probably still kill them off. In which case, it may still trigger as them having died. I don't know. I don't know why I'm fascinated with which arena members you can remove, but there it is. And then there's this one. It's difficult, I will say that much. Anyway, so that will not be a part. I'm just hoping it won't crash. Actually, I saved it, so yes, it can fully well crash, and then I can just restart from here. No harm, no foul. Alright, so here's the deal. This one has 2 routes. If you run ahead of him, you can go down and basically get completely detonated. For a quick guide on how to get completely detonated, just go ahead and watch the first scene of RoboCop. Because it's basically something like that as soon as you walk through the first door down there. How he survives with his setup, I don't know. But he does.
I'll take care of the ones inside. You hold the rest off here.
Okay. He sounds like an old surfer that took up smoking.
I'm trapped.
Run away. So, instead, we get the joy of dealing with all of these hoppies. So what I would recommend is just being as evasive as possible here. Because there's a lot of them, you really can't out-damage them. As far as just going toe-to-toe. I believe it's 4 small rockets. That's actually killed them. There's no sense in wasting the heavier ones, because they will be absolutely necessary pretty soon here. Yeah, so it's 4 rockets. If you don't have a upgraded radiator by now, whether for weight reasons or what have you, they can have a good chance of overheating you as well. One time I saw that you can actually get them to slash each other, as with everything else, all of their missiles and whatnot and all that have all kinds of friendly fire on, so you can do those kinds of shenanigans. Either way, their hovering makes this fight a pain, and while it seems like a good idea to try and aim up with them while they're flying, it doesn't work. By the time you're done aiming, they'll already be somewhere else, and then you have another one right in front of you, wishing you had taken the opportunity to just simply hold the cursor in front of you and maneuver around that way. And that right there is why I would recommend taking the 80 count along for this mission. Should not have taken those 2 missiles there. So 2 shots from the hand rockets are enough. These guys suck so much. But they're the lesser of 2 evils.
Are you clear? I'm moving further
Like
in.
I said, moving into this thing, it is 3 rooms of utter clustercluck of mine launchers.
Look, get in here.
The signal is breaking up. Please go assist.
Interesting line delivery on that one. So first order of business is just to make sure that Clazen is on fire in this fight. Just to have him burning as much as possible. Your rifle does not fire that fast. And you do none of that walking backwards nonsense.
I'm surprised you made it. Watch it. This guy is good.
No, his machine gun is good. So,
Looks like I've still got it.
so he does a lot of damage. And he's pretty accurate with that thing. So a street enemy is semi-helpful. Most of the time he just gets himself killed. Like I said, much more difficult on a PSP than it is on a computer screen. It's just so much harder to see with his background. And he's one of the ones that does start off at full health, I believe. Because he takes quite a bit of punishment. Okay, seriously, if he can die now, that'd be great. Oh well. So I get a chance to redo it. Yeah, he's... Actually, I don't know if those are his rockets or what. We have 3 large rockets. I believe I got a few doubles on there, and he was on fire. But he was still not even sparking. Okay, so pulse generators and access program. Access is the one where you can get... Oh yeah, and by the way, apparently they just up and gave up for that fight, because then both of them are just fine. And I got... Oh, wait a minute. Huh. You know what? I think it still counts... I think because the mission's over, it still counts Clazen... No, I have to see. Let's see. No, Clazen's still here. That's true. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. At some point, apparently I killed a guy. So, Endymion here. He got a sniper rifle. And that's good for him. So, he's fast. He's one of the fast, twiggy ones. Can be challenging, usually isn't though. For this kind of reason right here. But he's an interesting build. Although it is interesting, that's not a challenge run I would try to do. I've tried to do sniper rifle runs on multiple occasions and they just turn out kind of boring. Not really a fan of the sniper rifles in any of the games except for Answer. Okay, so this is the bastard himself. This is Kaiser. Okay, he's got... Obviously, he's got the missiles and missile extensions. So those will do a fair whack of damage as well as overheat nearly every time. And then from there, he just bum rushes with his double shotguns and his EOs. So even when he's out of ammo, his EOs will still do a lot of damage. He is also a cheater, so he does move a lot faster than you'd expect. As dumb as it may seem... Actually, usually the abandoned factory is the easiest. As dumb as it may seem, I actually had some luck getting rid of him in the arena. Since napalm rockets are all but necessary to fight him. So if you stand over here and try to bait him on his missiles, it's very difficult to, and near impossible to keep up with him without fleets. So as you saw there, his missiles do a ton of damage. It's not advisable to even go up to him until he's taken a few shots. He actually saves a few till later. It's kind of a weird thing. A trick to him is just getting behind his back. His turn speed, even with his cheats, still isn't fantastic. Which is the downfall of this, of fighting him here. Because you got these pillars, which help with his missiles, but not so much on anything else. So large missiles will not overheat him. It does take a napalm rocket to set him on fire. His EOs get a much better angle than his guns do. But he's still pretty dang accurate with all of them. Just missed him. Ah, crap. Yeah, I messed up the circle. Unless he completely runs out of ammo, unless he's completely out, which he should be fairly close. Yeah, no. Not this time. So he's very possible as long as you don't get wrecked by his missiles, which I completely did. So, gotta give that another go. And sometimes just get him back into his little corner by standing there. So let's take a quick peek, jump out, we're walking. Usually he'll launch and you can hide behind the wall. That's bad. It's really the overheat where his missiles damage comes from. Because while they do a lot themselves, but just the lingering overheat damage there is a real pain. Oh yeah, and as you can very, very, very clearly tell, they track like crazy, because it's him using them. On an ideal kind of loop of this guy, you can stick behind him, just stick on his shoulder, and keep pelting him in the shoulder with rockets and keeping him turning around. That's usually going to be the most consistent way of doing this. Because you have to be moving almost the entire time. Alright, so I'll do that in the arena next. Swapping out for decoys. The overheating extensions are not worth it for this fight. Just because of how fast he does it. So now he's on guns. So his EOs are a much bigger threat than his shotgun. I'm actually doing a bad thing here. I need to go forward and right to dodge him most effectively. Because going back and doing the whole back strafe, that type of dealing, is just not going to work. You need to do a forward strafe. So like this, basically. Get behind him and just watch his shadow. And he's still going to get those EO shots off. There's not really avoiding that. So he's still got a few missiles in him right now. And if he suddenly backs off, that's when he's usually using them. Ah, crap. So the better thing with the fleets is they drain less. And there were his missiles. Where he's backing off. So his fleets drain less. You can keep up with them a lot better if you're not using mares. But I haven't really gotten to that point yet, so it is what it is. Also, I'm not sure if this stupid thing is popping into the window, actually. How long has that been there? Alright. BB, as usual, just doesn't even matter. He's gonna do his usual thing, where he flies around and fires him generally impressive weapons in a terrible way. So he's near immune to overheating from anything but napalm rockets. But whatever. The blade and shotgun combo that he did there is his most threatening thing. It's really more intimidating than threatening. I mean, it'll do an overheat. But more often than not, he just covers and shoots, even with the rocket challenge. Of course, if you mess up your inputs and don't purge stuff, you end up running slower, what have you. But there we go. He remembered he has a rocket launcher. And then there's Ace. Who I probably... let's see, do I have... steal the access program, then... yeah, I think I'll do access program and then do Ace.
Combat system engaged.
The program is on one of the lab's computers. Be careful in your search.
Yeah, so this is not the one with Nocturne yet. So this is the one that's actually a tour of the facility before you're even in here. Another one of the ones where you legitimately do not actually have to shoot anything. You might as well, just to make it run a little faster. And they made a good choice of hiring the person who doesn't need a lock-on. So the purpose of this mission is not actually to be a challenge, but to be your tour of the facility.
Access program downloaded. Get out of there.
So you know there's an access program here. Oh, you little... Just get out. Okay. So you see that turned on, and noticeable. Oh, no. You can kinda just twitch your way towards the bottom ones here. and not take any damage, but it's fine as it is. As long as you don't go through all 3, it's not too damaging. It's acceptable enough to make it through. You might take a few hundred by the time you're done. But right after this, there will be the infiltrated Rajito lab. I took the wrong turn. Dang it, that one's just there as a trick. I need to go down here. I like the design of this place. It's not quite a trap, but it's kind of a trap. But again, I'll never understand the layout of any of these places, really. Because let's be honest, you really don't need gigantic mech-sized hallways for your factory, do you? Already at 3.5 mil. Both of these are in the icy place. Disabling the radars is easier. The two of these for the rocket run. Because protecting the convoy, you're basically stuck relying on a guy. But at any rate, I'm gonna cut it off here. Well, probably gonna finish off the game in the arena in the next one. And then do another video on the doubles arena. Or actually, just finish off the rest of the arena in the next one, too. Anyway, that'll be it for now.